friends and community. I'm here with Cassie as usual, but I wanted to start this live before it gets totally dark, which it will be soon. So this is probably going to be more like podcast style, not much to look at, but some stuff to listen to and consider. And yeah, we're absolutely going to talk about Pastor Bob Joyce, NESARA, GESARA, the EBS, Discernment, and everything else coming your way. Hello, good, how are you? Hold that thought. Okay, we are back. Slight delay to see who shows up. So, like I was saying, we're absolutely going to talk about Pastor Bob, EBS, NESARA, GESARA, Discernment, and everything that's happening right now. And haven't done a live for a few days. Sometimes you just need a break, right? You got to unplug. You got to change things up. And by the way, probably at least 2 new Bob Joyce videos coming your way. Maybe one of those will be a viral hits part 5 coming soon. So stay tuned. As always, plenty more coming your way. So what do you need to know about what's going on in the world? And well, mostly as usual, I'm talking about the US because that's where I live and that's my main focus. However, when we talk about GESARA related and even EBS for the United States, worldwide, of course, we're talking about everywhere. So first of all, let me clarify about Pastor Bob Joyce, because I'm getting more questions than ever, and I'm not surprised considering some things that have been going on, but I want to clarify a few things. As of roughly August, September of this year, 2025, my search is over. My search is over about the man we know as Bob Joyce. So for those of you sending me emails, which you're all welcome to, you all have the ability to. For those of you sending research material about Bob Joyce, please just don't. Not because I don't want to talk to you, and not because I don't appreciate that you are a thinking, deep kind of person, but because it's just not necessary for me anymore. And I'm trying to keep us on the topic and up to date while also changing the focus slightly, because there's a whole lot more going on and at stake than just what all of you find out about Pastor Bob Joyce, or don't. So before I get into sort of the real word recommendations, whatever you want to call it, I want to make sure the air is crystal clear by saying everything that's happening in the US and even in the world ties in directly with what Pastor Bob teaches and preaches every week. And that is, regardless of what's happening, Jesus is the main focus. The gospel message is the most important. And all the hype about worldly things, much less important, much less. So how does it tie into everything that's going on? Well, primarily, I would say that he has the best message to share and the one that we should be focused on, because ultimately it's God's plan that's playing out, right? You hear lots of people talk about the operation, and we know things are happening. The theories are over, okay? That's what I'm trying to get through to you guys. The theories about, oh, this is going to happen next week, next month, next year. There's an operation underway. Guess what? It's 2025. All of the talk started in 2017 when a certain letter started posting. The theories are over. Confirmation is complete. Okay? Dots are connected. You've been connecting dots about certain people, like me. What else do you need to know? I'm saying dots confirmed. How much time you want to spend as an individual connecting more dots? Well, that's up to you. But one of my primary goals of this channel is to help us complete the journey enough that we can go back to focusing on what's truly important in our lives, our families' lives, the people who are most important to us. Okay? So I want to start this video by telling you Pastor Bob has the best message and is giving us the best message to stay focused on. My job is not as a pastor. However, what I can do and what I will do and have done is pointing you back to God and to who I think the best teachers are in this world. And I would put Pastor Bob at the top of the list. That's just me. But that is what I see as part of my goal. And that I agree with. I've agreed with everything he said, as far as I know. I mean, my version might be slightly different, of course, but I can't say there's been any message, any word he shared that I've disagreed with. And so about a year ago or more, that was part of how I reached the decision of, why, yes, I don't mind sharing Pastor Bob's message and persona, videos, whatnot. Why? Because I agree with him. So, and hello, everybody. I'm not doing the shout outs too much, but I will at the end if you stick around. Okay, so now that we've covered Pastor Bob, I think, very clearly, crystal clear, let's talk about the EBS, NESARA, GESARA, the QFS, quantum financial system, and all of its mystery, which I know some of you, you've finished connecting those dots too, like I have, at least enough dots, and you're not worried about it. You're like me, and you're just waiting for things to play out. Maybe you're an XRP holder, like I got a few of those, and feeling better than ever about the thousands of hours I researched years ago to be where we're at now. Okay, so why are we talking about all of these things, these topics that are generally 95% on the internet, clickbait, junk? And some of you follow the people that are putting out the junk left and right, and you need to just get away from it, like I had to. We're talking about QFS, EBS, NESARA, GESARA, because yes, I do believe all of these things are going to transpire in some form in the coming years. And I use the word believe just because I don't want to come right out and say what's happening or give you 100%. But what you need to keep in mind is the way it's going to play out. Not everybody's going to be happy in the end. The end will not be for everyone. And when you take a quote like that from the certain letter, the end won't be for everyone, think about that. That's a clue. I'll tell you what it means. It means that genuinely good people, for the most part, who want the most craziest version of it to occur, they're not going to get it. We're not all going to become billionaires, those who invested in whatever. That's basically the extreme message that's being passed. And then on the bad side, those who we think anybody who has done injustice is going to feel the full weight of the law and military. I don't think that's going to happen either. And why? Because if it did, to the extreme, there would be chaos in some form. And the people in charge who we're trusting, they're smart enough to know this. So the statement, the end won't be for everyone, means that only the people who are actually balanced in the middle, they see the short term, they see the long term, they understand that it's God's plan. He's in charge. He's the most important. And God's plan is more important than the people's plan. Only those people who are truly balanced and thinking wisely will love the ending. Does that make sense? And one last thing I wanted to share. In November 2022, I started telling everyone on this channel, my other channels, all channels, that a certain president was telling us his next moves without saying it straightforward. That we were going to have to endure the rest of Biden's admin. And some of you know why I'm using quotation marks. And we did. I wasn't a psychic. I didn't feel like a prophet. It was just the dots were being connected. And it was very clear to anyone who was really paying attention with open eyes and discernment. Now it's 2025. And I'm telling you all, T is playing the long game. He has the long plan. It's been figured out with the military operations. Everything is on track for us to end very well in 2028. And we know him. We know he's not going to leave office without feeling act on keeping promises that were made to us. And so that I fully trust. Do I think big things could happen before July 4th, 2026, our 250th anniversary, as kind of like a midway point of this term? Yeah, I think it's possible. However, it makes more sense for all of us to plan on the long haul. And the long haul means waiting until 2028. So I'm going to wrap it up there. I want us to keep the wisest things in mind, planning ahead. And so my reminder and wish for all of you is that you'll keep God as your focus and work on that relationship. Focus 90% of your time on the things that He's given you control over and that you can influence or have a positive effect on. Not all these things that are clickbait and you don't even know if you can trust. And about 3 years from now, give or take, you're going to look back to this year and feel really good about how you handled it, what you did. Otherwise, you're going to look back with regrets. So that's right, Irma. God is in control. That is the main message. So hello, Trish. Glad it makes sense. Angel Eyes. Scott Hamilton, you're welcome. Barbara, hello. And Alice Pack. Sean, hey, brother. Donna, did I say hello already? Julie Q. Barbara Lane. William Brown. Hello, all of you. Sheila. So I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm trying to keep these shorter than usual. And it's really foggy out tonight. I don't know if that's affecting my signal, but it is foggy. So I wouldn't be surprised. And so that's what's happening. So more updates and videos coming soon that I'm excited to share with you. And it's been fantastic having plenty of content from Pastor Bob's dinner show. And there is more coming soon. And the viral hits series will continue as well for those Pastor Bob fans out there. And so I'll leave you here, I think. I think we covered it. Yeah, the Stonebridge Farms show was awesome. About what we expected. So I'll keep you posted for now, but I just wanted to share that with you because that is ultimately the most important from everything we're talking about. It just is God's plan. That's what matters. So, okay, I'll wrap it up there. I'll see you all next time. Take care and God bless. See you next time.